Welcome to Hush. Today we are moving I think I feel more comfortable saying we. I was married for some time and I get very comfortable saying we instead of I. And way before the divorce was final, but once it all started, the process, I just couldn't stop saying we. And I feel like sometimes there's just this comfort in, like, I'm not in this alone. It's not just me. Does anyone else feel that way? Like, they just want to be in it with somebody and not have all the pressure on themselves. Anyways, I have been on this deep dive of really working towards being who I was always meant to be, or always was, before the world started to tell me at a very young age who I should be. And that's a lot of what this channel is about, right? Just, because one of the things I was always told consistently was to be quiet. And even now, I just keep seeing it. All this dark psychology, the way to get to the top, the people who rule the world, they don't share. They stay secret. They stay hidden. They do all of these things. And I don't want to rule the world. I mean, I would love to run a company. That was one of my dreams when I was a child. I didn't want to own the company. I wanted to run somebody else's company. I wanted to be a CEO. I wanted to manage. And I did end up being a manager. It wasn't a program that was really, I guess it was owned by a company, but the individual program wasn't owned and then I was just running it for somebody. So it wasn't exactly that, but it just was a middle management position is what it ended up being. And that was awful. I would never do that ever again. You have no power, but you're responsible for everything. Like, anything that goes wrong is your fault, but you have no power to actually do anything about anything. It was horrific. And it was a state-funded program, so I got paid pennies. I was on call every other week for a year. I am not here to complain. That's not why I came on here. But middle management was terrible. But that was one of my dreams, to not be middle management, but to be a CEO and run somebody's company for them. I'm really good at seeing the big picture of things and being able to see the whole. And I think that's why it was a passion of mine, because my brain, it becomes satisfied with that type of thinking and that type of need. I don't know if I'd actually be good at it or not. I mean, I think I would based on how my brain works, but that's just me. I've never done it, so I don't know. And how did I get talking about that? Wow. Total tangent. And, what I'm really trying to get at is sex. That's what the topic I'm really working towards is to get to that topic. And I had a podcast last year, so I'm just totally veering. Different direction. I had a podcast last year called Sipping Reality, and then we broke off and started Sipping Reality X. And I got slammed for that hard, but only by people who knew me. Not by people who didn't know me, right? They loved it. I mean, it was fun. It was good. And, a lot of people are really anti-sex. I mean, they have children. They clearly have had sex in their life, but they're just, we don't talk about it. We keep it hush, hush, hush. Quiet down, Joe. Don't share all your stuff with everybody, right? And dark psychology. Don't share your stuff with everybody. Keep it hidden. Be the ruler of the world. So now I'm tying it all in. And, you want to succeed. You want to be a billionaire. You want success and power and fame, whatever. Be this mysterious person. Well, yeah, that would be great. I would love to live comfortably. But that's just not the core of who I am. I don't love the world that we live in. I mean, I love the beauty of nature. There's so many people I love. I think there's amazing people. There's places to see. The food is great in so many places. I'd love to be more of a foodie and just eat more food, good food. There's so much. But I mean, as far as government and how this world is run. So do I really want to learn how to become one of them, or do I want to be the opposite? And that's the question that I've been asking myself the last couple days, because I don't stop seeing it on Facebook come up, where there's all these reels saying, don't share too much, don't share too much, don't share yourself, don't put yourself out there. People aren't going to like you if you put yourself out there. Well, the whole point of being authentic is saying, screw if anybody likes me. If the only person watching this video ends up being my partner, who is amazing and watches all my videos, thank you, I love you, you're awesome, I'm satisfied because I'm doing what I love. You know, does it pay the bills? No. Do I know I'm going to pay rent next month? No. I'm not here to become a billionaire. I mean, I don't think people become billionaires off YouTube channels. I know some people become millionaires. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could have happened. I don't really follow any of that. But I do know people can make significant money. But that's not why I'm here. Because if I were here to make significant money, I'd be doing cheap little AI videos that are 6 seconds long that go on repeat and just to get views. Or I'd just be being silly, which I do want to do. I want to do some silliness because I have a really silly side, and that has not come out on this channel. I've mostly just been really serious, and that's not all of who I am. You know, I love my writings. They're always from a deep place. They're always from an intellectual / creative / emotional place, right? Some of them very deeply emotional. So all very serious to some extent. I have some fun with some of them, but for the most part. And so I want to get a little silly, but I also want to start talking about sex again. And it's okay if that's not okay with people. I'm a mom of 5 kids, and they're young. And you know what? I had sex every time I got pregnant with each of them. They are alive on this earth because of sex. And there's nothing wrong with it. It is survival of the species. I know, I've talked about this before. And I really want to do a video about relating sex to food. I think that is it's on my list for my next video, just talking. And this is just kind of an intro into the shift of the channel. And when it came up in my mind to just say, screw it. I am passionate about sex, people having good sex, people not being shamed for what things they like to do during sex. I see it all the time on social media. I've said that on this channel too. But I just saw it recently where, what did somebody post about? Oh yeah, somebody was like, if you feel the need to call somebody daddy in the bedroom, there's something really wrong with you and you're really sick. And I'm just like, well, okay, that's your opinion, but you're missing out. And no, they're probably not. They don't need to like that. I didn't used to either. I thought it was really weird and creepy, and I loved it for my friends who loved it, but it wasn't for me. And I have since changed my mind on that. So, you know, I got a lot of flack just from a few people for my podcast, but it has been brought up so many times in my court and custody case. And the thing is that my podcast had nothing to do with my children. It was 18 plus. When I had my children, I had control over their phones, and all their phone things were on so that they couldn't look at 18 plus content. We checked all the boxes, we did all the things, and we were recorded while they were in school. I wasn't sitting there, the recording while they're playing at my feet. You know, it's like, you know, husband and wives sneak into the bathroom for a quickie, or, you know, they might even be having sex while their kid's asleep after the child crawled into the bedroom. I know that sounds horrific, but, you know, I mean, when you're married, you gotta get what you gotta get. So I know that that's something that does happen. I don't necessarily think that that's a good way to do it, but I'm saying very discreetly, you know, like nothing where your child's gonna all of a sudden wake up and see or hear something. But certainly with your child in the room next door, most houses, not all, but most houses have the bedrooms right in the same area. I happened to grow up in a house where the main bedroom was on the top floor and the kids' bedrooms were all 2 floors down. So had a lot of separation. My parents also had really strict boundaries, like too strict. There's a middle ground there. Theirs were too strict. So I didn't even go into their room. It was very strange to ever be in their bedroom because there were really strong boundaries. And yeah, so it's come up a lot in the court case. And the court case is still going on. And so I've really shied away from it. And there's been a part of me that hasn't wanted to talk about it and hasn't felt like it's appropriate. But I don't know that that came from me, because I really enjoyed doing that podcast. And I really enjoy talking about the subject. I find it to be very important. And I have a little head sneaking in right now, so I'm not going to continue. And this is why I'm not doing the full video about comparing it to food. But what I am going to say is that I'm going to come on and I'm going to start talking about more. And I hope to bring people on to talk about it with me, because it's so much more fun to banter with somebody else. And so that is all for now, as this little pitter patter of feet is coming closer to me. Until next time. Oh, he just slammed on the bed. Chill.